Welcome to Building a Series That Sells. Now, the purpose of this course is to do exactly what the title says. Walk you through some actionable steps that you can take to help build out a series that is well-fleshed and really ready for the marketplace. I built my career on vibes, but it's not something I'd actually recommend. If you can, one of my biggest pieces of advice I can offer is to let go of the idea that you need to play things by ear or go with the flow, etc., etc., etc. It's my belief that that belief is born out of disorganization. It's kind of like your brain trying to protect itself from the stress and anxiety of fully fleshing out an idea. What if it doesn't work? What if I can't figure it out? What if my ideas are stupid? Well, all of that is actually possible. I'm not going to front. But what if it does work? What if you do figure it out? What if your ideas aren't stupid? What if this series is the stepping stone to the next level of your career? Now, I'm not promising that because I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But what I do know is that readers love series. I know that series are lucrative, and I know that putting down your plan for your series ahead of time gives you the opportunity for greater interconnection between the books and the series. And I also know that understanding your secondary characters from the time they're introduced in book one to whenever we get to their book gives you opportunity for greater character development, and it gives your readers more time to fall in love with those characters and look forward to reading them. Now, a few notes. Everything is flexible and fluid. We're really just figuring out what works. It's really a big brainstorming session. Only what you publish, not what you write, what you publish in the first book is concrete or canon. And even then, concrete can be broken up and we can make amendments, we can make changes, we can figure things out. You just have to explain it and make it make sense if you're doing that. Tools. For this course, you're going to need paper and pen, pencil, notebook, your tablet, your iPad, something that you can use to take notes. You're also going to need your series planner worksheet, either in this printable format or the downloadable PDF so that you can mark it up on your device. We're not going to actually use the series planner until the very end. So we have several points that we're going to hit as we go through this course. We're going to figure out our connecting threads between the books. We're going to figure out how many books. We're going to build out our plots, and then we're going to give this stuff some names. We're going to work through these milestones by taking lots of notes, asking lots of questions. And once this is all finalized, we'll write it down in our Momentum Shift series planner. So hit play. Let's go. I'm ready to start it up. First things first, what is the connecting thread between the books? What is this thing that the series is based on? Well, the way that we figure it out is, like I said a bit ago, by asking questions, writing things down. Remembering that none of this is fluid. We are figuring things out. We are brainstorming. So go with your first mind. We can always make changes, but we are letting our creativity flow. I'm going to do this along with you, and I'm going to tell you what I'm coming up with as we go along. Once we have our who, we're going to move into the what. What do I want to write about? Is there a certain subject, a certain event, a certain industry, etc.? What is my overarching theme or my shared goal for all of my main characters? Now, this can be foundational to everything, but don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Again, flexible process. If you want to include sports, the music industry, the political landscape, whatever, it's fine. But let's choose something and write it down. One of the first questions that we can ask in figuring out what our series is about is, who do I want to write about? Who are these characters going to be? Are they going to be siblings? Are they friends? Are they neighbors? Are they bandmates? Do they work together, etc., etc., etc.? This list could go on and on and on. But we're going to choose something here, trusting our brains to give a good surface level way that these people intertwine. Write that down. Okay, where do I want to write about? What is my setting? Is it a certain city, fictional or not? A certain workplace, like a certain office? a remote island, a beach resort. Setting can be a great tool to inform the reader with little subtle things about the world that you're building around your characters. It's not negligible, but don't overthink it. Now we should have a who, a what, and a where for our series, and you should feel good about having made those decisions. Now, honestly, your answers might feel a little silly right now, and that's okay, because as we flesh this out, it's going to feel better and better. I am going with a sibling series set in a beach town, and they are all going to be working together to run this family resort. So the same way that I just gave you that little 1 or 2 sentence breakdown of what my series is going to be about, what's yours? All right, we have our connecting thread. Now, how many books does it take? We are moving into the more important decision making that's more technical than creative. How long is this series going to be? Meaning how many books? And how long are the books going to be? Again, we figure that out by asking questions. First question, how much do I have to give this? Not how much I got to get this, but how much do I have to give this? Are you looking for that feeling of accomplishment or completion that comes with writing short stories or novellas? Do you have the energy or bandwidth for an epic 300,000 word series? Do you feel like you need the room for full-length emotion? Or will these be quick erotic novelettes? Remember, it's all flexible, but we are going to make a decision right now with the knowledge that we can absolutely adjust as we see fit. Next question. How many books do you want to write? Now, you can do what the illustrious Miss Brenda Jackson has done and write an unlimited number of books about a certain family, but she did not start with 5011 Medeiros. Choose a number and do not be generous. If you were in need of a course like this, I would not recommend that you purposely set out to write an epic 15-book series. I actually wouldn't suggest that you plan to write a series larger than 4 books. Set an expectation that you can reasonably meet. If you can do more than 4, that's all well and good. But for most of us, I'm going to say keep it under that number. When do you want to be finished with the whole series? Now, I know that not everybody writes the books all together, but let's assume that we are going to write all of these books together, back to back to back. When do you want to be done? Yes, for real. I know it's nebulous right now, but seriously, put down a date. Do not think about anything except the ideal. It doesn't necessarily have to be realistic. Okay, I lied. Now we are going to reality check that deadline that we made. How many books and at what length can you reasonably finish? Not edit, publish, none of that. Just the writing in a minimally stressful manner between now and when that deadline is. Let's say you want to start and finish in 3 months. If you can write 30,000 words a month, that's a 3 novella series right there. But you can't do 3 full-length novels in that time because 65 to 70,000 words a month is not a realistic output for you. And that's okay. Let's think back to who are you writing about? Can you do triplets? Can you do 2 best friends with a startup? A 4-member band? You might have an idea in your head, but that idea needs to match up with reality. If your output is 10,000 words a month and you want to write meaty, sweeping love stories about North, South, East, and West for the New Direction series, you're going to need a couple years. Not the 3 to 6 months you want to be done by. But you can write a cute little 3 novella series, the primary color series, I don't know, about red, yellow, and blue. Let's choose our approach and do some light math. If you want to be done with the series in 6 months and your typical stress-free writing output is about 1,000 words a day, that's about 120,000 words to work with if you write every single day. Now, you can do a duology of 2 60,000 word books in that 3-month time frame, or you could do a novella trilogy of 40,000 words each. You can even get adventurous with a 6 novelette series of 20,000 words each. The important part is that you set a goal that isn't too aggressive to perform, but one that's realistic for your lifestyle and your pace. For my example purposes moving forward, I will be writing a 3-novella series, 40,000 words each, in 6 months. Okay, now we have figured out connecting threads. We have decided how many books we're going to write. We can move into building out the plots. Now, you might feel like you don't really need this part, but just humor me. Just humor me and go along through it anyway. Again, questions. First up, what genre is this series going to be? What's the vibe? Some examples of different genres in romance could be motorcycle club, sports romance, paranormal, mystery or thriller, erotic, romantic comedy, sci-fi / alien, dystopian / urban fantasy. You can do urban romance. You can do historical romance. There's a lot. That's like just what I can think of off the top of my head right now. Now, these can be combined, revamped, with a little twist on them. You can do whatever you want to do. But the genre is going to be a very important element that helps frame everything we do from here moving forward. Next up, when writing a romance, there is this foundational theme called a trope. Every romance novel has a trope. Now, it may or may not be overt, but it's there. It may have been combined with other tropes. It may have been subverted. They may have put a little spin on it, but every romance novel has at least one trope. And I personally swear by it as a way to kind of jumpstart my brain down the path of figuring out my plot. Some examples could be enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, meet cute, fake marriage or marriage of convenience, there's only one bed, grumpy sunshine, second chance, fated mates, trouble in paradise or marriage in trouble, forbidden / Romeo and Juliet, big brothers blank, best friends blank, billionaire or like a secret billionaire, secret identity type of thing, the bet or the dare, accidental or secret pregnancy, opposites attract, age gap, or which is also called like a May-December romance. There's literally so many. But the important thing to remember is that your genre and your trope are going to work together to create the idea for each book in your series. You have your genre. Now choose however many tropes you need for each book in the series. And it's fine to write the same trope multiple times. If you want everything in your series to be enemies to lovers, that's fine. If you want everything to be opposites attract, that's fine. If you want them to be enemies to lovers, opposites attract, that's fine too. Like I said, you can play with it. Okay, now we're going to put our thinking caps on and do some very shallow, high-level defining of the characters for each book. Remember, my personal example is a 3-book novella series about siblings that are trying to run their family beach resort. Since it's 3 books, let's call them triplets. Crimson, Cerulean, and Citron. Red, yellow, blue. I'm out of order. Primary colors. I am going to be doing a straight up contemporary romance, so that's my genre. And a second chance trope for book 1, opposites attract for book 2, and grumpy sunshine for book 3. Decide yours. Remember, it'll be flexible. How do our characters connect to the setting? How do they feel about where they are? Is it grudging? Could you not pay them to leave? They want to be there for the rest of their lives. Are they doing something they love? Do they hate it there? What's happening? My setting is a beach town. They're all gonna help run this B&B bed and breakfast called The Pearl, since it's on the beach, right? Crimson is in charge of the on-site restaurant. Cerulean works front desk and hospitality. And Citron does beach rentals and takes the guests on like tours. They're local. They grew up here, and The Pearl is a long-running family business. That's their connection to the setting. Now, I want you to think about their love interest. What is the love interest connection to the setting? Keep your trope in mind. Remember, I'm doing second chance, opposites attract, and grumpy sunshine. So if I'm thinking about Second Chance and Crimson is in charge of the restaurant, maybe the love interest is the chef for a property down the road, like a competing restaurant. For opposites attract, cerulean is at the front desk, which means lots of guest interaction. Maybe that's how the love interest there is met. Maybe the love interest is a guest. Citron is grumpy sunshine and does beach rentals, take the guests on tours. So maybe the love interest is a local fisherman from up the road. To kind of recap how the characters connect to the love interest. Crimson, Second Chance, he's come back to town. They're high school sweethearts. Cerulean, opposites attract. He's very stuffy, complaining about every little thing, but he's met his match with her because she is committed to giving a wow experience. Can't complain about a wow experience. Citron, grumpy sunshine. He's a grumpy fisherman who hates all the noise and pollution that the guests bring. We also have to figure out how our main characters get along with each other. Are they strangers? Are they enemies trying to one-up each other? How might the chosen genre present in the personalities of the characters, and what elements of the tropes can cross over? Like I said, I'm doing siblings, and so obviously they're not strangers, but maybe they don't get along that well. Maybe they're always trying to figure out how to differentiate themselves from each other, or like I said, one up in the other. Like, I'm gonna do this job way better than you. I'm gonna, I'm trying to have the fewest customer complaints. Maybe it's over the summer and they, are asking the guests for ratings. They want to see who can have the highest rating by the end of this summer at the beach resort. It's literally, the world is wide open, but congratulations. If you've gotten here, you should have some loose plots that you can build on. Again, remembering that everything is flexible. As you start writing, you're going to learn more about these characters. Characters are going to grow with you, and you're going to really figure them out, really get into the nitty-gritty, get into the meat of who they are. Leave yourself open for that. This is just throwing it all at the wall and seeing what sticks. Next up, your series needs a title. Titles are difficult for me, and so I understand how daunting of a task this can be. But we do want to put something down. The lovely thing about it is that everything we've done so far has built up details that we'll be able to use to inform these different titles. Going back to our questions. What was your setting? Was it a fictional place? Let's name it after that. Maybe my beach town is Mermaid Cove. We can call it the Mermaid Cove series. Maybe it's a foreign country. What are some of the characteristics, landmarks, etc. that you can use to play into your title? Or did we do siblings? Cool. Maybe it's the blank siblings series. Primary color siblings series. No, I wouldn't do that. But until and unless you come up with something better, you can definitely just write that down, because all you need right now is something to make this feel solid. Is it a workplace romance? Cool. It's the ABC Corporation series, a band, New Direction series, North, South, East, West, whatever you want to do. Again, we're just putting something down. This is not the time to give it that heavy of thought, because my belief is that as you work through writing the books, as you work through learning your characters and getting into the depths of everything, it'll help inform you and you might come up with something better. So again, this is not the time to give it heavy thought. You can come back to it and change it as needed, but naming it now anchors it in your mind. It makes it real and serious. You are writing this series. It's your working title, something that you put down so that when you refer to it in your head or to other people, you know what you're talking about. Now, once you've made that determination, you need titles for your individual books. Again, we can assume that these are working titles. It doesn't have to be that deep right now. Our primary goal is anchoring our brains on these ideas. forging the initial pathways and synapses to flesh it all out. If you need to put baby brother, middle sister, piano lady, whatever, just to hold the place in your mind, that's cool. But when you're ready to dive a little further, let's ask more questions. What is your trope for each book? What's your genre? These things can help lead you to potential titles. They may not go in your title, but they can help you with the framework. Endless possibilities are not your friend in this area. So limiting your options to what makes sense for this type of series can potentially be a really good thing. Is it giving theme? Your titles should all follow a certain convention. Maybe a certain amount of words or a specific word that is going to appear in each title. Like when I think about my Serendipitous Love series, every title has the word love in it. A crazy little thing called love. Didn't mean to love you. Fall in love again. The way love goes. Something like love. Love you forever. That word, love, that is my connecting thread between all the books in the series. You can really go back to your genre here, especially if you're writing like sports romance, music romance. There's certain words that fit that industry that can be relevant to the book. Certain words or certain terms. Like the band stories might all have musical terms. The sports stories might all be named after certain plays, etc., etc. Also, keep in mind, a one-word title is going to eat every time. If it works with the vibe of your project, consider just one single word that really embodies the feeling of the book. Think about Nicole Falls. She has a series about two siblings. The titles of the book are Hunger and Thirst. I'll let you guess what the genre is. Erotica? Bingo. Congratulations, you are just about done building out the framework for your series. Now we're going to take all these things that we took notes on and we're going to actually put them down in our planner page. Now I am going to be using my handy dandy iPad, but again, you can also use the printable version of this page. Or what is our series title? I am going to be going with the Primary Colors series. Okay. My setting is Mermaid Cove. My book titles, I'm writing 3 books, so my book titles are going to be, what were my, so I am going, since I'm writing a contemporary romance series as my genre, and I'm going to feed off of my character names. So let's see, with my setting being a beach town, I am going to go with Crimson Sunsets, Cerulean Skies, and Citron Sunrises. Very corny, but doesn't matter. Not really, because again, I can change these as I see fit, or maybe by the time I write them, it won't seem corny at all. So thinking about my overarching plot, what did I say? 3 siblings work together at family bed and breakfast for the summer to see who can get the best customer rating. And you want to know something about flexibility? As I was writing this, I was just thinking, if they are trying to see who can get the best customer rating, it might make sense that they might try to sabotage each other here and there, which could absolutely lead to some funny stuff happening. So maybe I'm not writing a contemporary romance series. Maybe I'm writing a romantic comedy series. Okay, for expected length, we said what, 40,000 words each. And as far as release frequency, let's put out one novella every 1.5 months. That is not spelled correctly. Where's my eraser? Every 1.5 months. There we go. Now, getting into book 1, I'm going to go back to my notes. So Crimson's book is book 1. We said that that was going to be a second chance romance. So let's see. Crimson's first love is back in town and running a neighboring resto. Can they find their way back to each other? Okay. That actually could potentially be really funny. Okay, book 2. That was Cerulean's book. Cerulean was Opposites Attract. So Cerulean meets the most picky, uptight, guest ever, but she's committed to winning the competition. Can she give him a wow experience? Question mark. Book 3, we had Citron, which was the grumpy sunshine. It was the grumpy fisherman who hates all the noise that the guests are bringing. So the fishing tour is very lucrative for the Pearl, but Citron has to convince the local fishermen to keep it going so customers don't complain. Can she maintain, or is it curtains for the fishing tour, that is? So there we go. We have officially laid the framework for this series. Everything we've put down is flexible, but everything we've put down also works as it is. All you have to do is write the books, and then you'll really be on the path to success. This should give you a lot to work with and build off of. I hope you have enjoyed going through this process of building out the scaffolding for your next series. If you have any feedback, questions that weren't answered, things you felt could have used a little more time or a little more explanation, please feel free to let us know, and we'll be glad to make those adjustments, or maybe even build out a new course. Until next time, bye.